Hey y'all, it's Joy, and today I thought that I would try to do something that's a little bit kind of up there in the sense that I haven't really seen it done before. And what that is instead of videoing me playing with a bunch of my friends who are really good, um, I'm gonna play by myself. And if my friends join, that's fine. But I'm gonna play by myself, and I'm just gonna be kind of like speed builders for those who know nothing about it. So this is what we're going to try. So basically I'm going to alternate building to teach people how to build and then just building normally. So speed builders, basically you get in the game and there's usually about 8 rounds depending on who you're playing with, but there's no maximum of rounds. The time just gets shorter every time. And you see this build and then you have to recreate it. So how I built this build fast, because it's actually pretty big, is I build 3 back and then I build 2 forward and then I jump up 3. So whenever you can, use the fact that you have the ability to jump 3 high to your advantage, because it is one of the most helpful things. So as you can see, I'm just kind of like building that, and now I'm going to build the rim. Something that can really help you remember how builds go is to remember things that kind of like mark all the pieces together. So like I noticed when I saw this build was all of the walls are made out of oak planks, and then all of the corners are made out of cobblestone, as well as the floor is made out of complete cobblestone. The only part that is hollow is the inside, and then it has a nice rim of logs with a ceiling of cobblestone. And so then there's this little villager guy right here, so that's pretty chill. And basically, you can look at a build, and of course you're not always going to get it on your first try, obviously. Sometimes you will, but a lot of times you won't. And so it's helpful to be able to count. So I know that I have to do those things differently. So right now I know that all of my special special railroad tracks are going to go on this redstone. And then I know that this part of the build is just one big circle. So I'm going to build that first so that I cannot mess up. And then I build it like that and build it up, and then I build it like that. I think I do my strat a little bit differently when I'm trying to build fast. Actually, a lot differently. But I mean, you can get this build down to really fast. I mean, even I can do it in like under 10 seconds, and sometimes even like significantly under that, meaning like 4 seconds. So not in 4 seconds, but 4 seconds less, so about 6 seconds. Or I think my best is like 6.4 or something. It's probably higher than that, but I can't remember exactly. But don't take me to the bank on that. That's just what we're going with. So do you see like how you can finish that? And I noticed, see, you can tell that they need to be on the redstone because redstone is what makes the thing glow, and it needs to be exactly on it. So I'm in 1.13.2, so I've got to punch these little suckers to make them show up. So I've noticed that this rim is in slabs, and then it's a 3x3x3 inside, so we got to do that nice little outside. You put the fences on top of that, and then you put the soul sand in here. Now the tricky part on this is the skulls. So I noticed that it's a 1 and then 2 pattern. So this one is on 2, and then see, and now I got it done. And then if I punch them all again, you can tell that it's a 2, 1, 2, 1 pattern. So I can tell that both these that are parallel are going to be with 2, and then the ones that are horizontally parallel, well, I guess they're vertical, but it depends on which way you look at it, are 1 in the middle. And so that makes it a lot easier to tell, and then you kind of know what you're doing before you get into it, instead of, being all crazy and being like, I forgot what's going on. And so it's also, for me, it's very helpful if I'm counting something, it's helpful to be like, okay, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, green, blue, pink, purple. And of course on this one, here's a tip, it gives them to you in the order, so you can either scroll, or I hotkey, but I'll scroll for the purposes of this. And so I like to do it 4 down, and then 3 down. You see that? And ta-da, now I'm done. And like that's a helpful trick, because if a lot of the color schemes, if it's just 1, it will give it to you in order, or at least like in an order that makes sense up. Most of the hotbars, which is this little thing down here right under my hearts and stuff, most of the hotbars are for they're set up intentionally not to make it hard to build, but to make it easier to build, because if you were just making something to be hard to build, why would you do that? Like, that's just kind of pointless and it's kind of rude. So, I originally started out thinking I'd alternate, but, I changed my mind, so that this is what we're going to do. So on this one, I've noticed that it is 6 blocks high. So I'm going to build this first 3, because remember, we need to build 3 high whenever we can. And so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to put my blue, and then I'm going to put my black, and then I'm going to put my blue, and then I'm going to put my white on top of that. So another way that you can do this is, if you want, you can go like this, if you want to do something like that. But I like doing it like that, because when I do it really fast, I can do it quicker. And then I double jump up. So I double jump up, and I build 2 high. And then you continue building 2 high, and then you can build this last thing off the top. And so that's just a really, like, simple strategy to do that. And if you want to change it, I mean, almost everyone on Speed Builders has different strategies. These are just mine, because it's really weird to teach someone else's strategies. So for this one, again, it gives you these in the number that they go in your hotbars. So I can just do that, and then hop up here. So I don't have to, so it's one less thing for me to memorize. I need to memorize that they're rings, and that they stack on top of each other, and then ta-da, I got it done, because I didn't have to worry about the colors, and so that's helpful. So I like to build this one as you saw in this ring, jump up and do the other 3, do the yellow, then turn around, do the green, then turn around and do the blue, and I feel like that's easiest for me. So for this one, I'm going to double jump instead of doing that. And so for an S jump, I'm going to kind of try to showcase it. So you double jump up, and you build while you jump. And that takes like a good amount of practice, so don't be like upset or discouraged if you don't do it the first time. I'm struggling placing these top blocks, man. There we go. And so there you go. You can do that a lot quicker that way. Obviously, 20.1 seconds is not that quick, but in my defense, I am going slowly because I'm trying to demonstrate. So yeah, you can just double jump up, and then so you go all 5 high with the white, and then you go 2 high, and then it's this kind of cross pattern on all of them. And so that's kind of helpful. So I can build 3 on like where it matches the pillars, and then 1 in the middle where like there's basically, it seems like no like anything for it to hold on to under it. So I feel like that makes it easier for me to remember. It's because it's this nice, lovely pattern. So a lot of times Speed Builders will have patterns. Like, look at this. The 4 high ones are yellow. The 3 high ones are red, the 2 high ones are green, and the 1 high ones are yellow, like, are yellow again. So it's all a pattern, and you don't have to worry about that. And also, if you play this game enough, looking at your inventory when you get it and seeing how many blocks there are, you will learn that, like, okay, if there's this many blocks, it means that this build is hollow or not hollow. If you've never seen the build before, it is helpful. So like I have, so quick maths, 7, because the map, by the way, the plots are all 7 by 7. So I know that this thing is 7 wide and 4 tall. That's 28 plus 2. That's 30. And so these are 2 by 3. So that's 6, 12, and then this is 3 by 5. So that's 15. Like, you learn that and you get that as you go on. And so now this game, I thought I was going to do build by build, but I'm actually going to do it game by game. So this game, I'm going to go kind of my normal speed and try to go faster. And so just try to show you how all these like strategies and how all of these kind of techniques can come into play more. And I'll try to explain it after I'm done or while I'm doing it if I can remember. So like, just remember to build 3 high whenever you can. If there's a good opportunity to S jump, so which is speed jumping, which is double jumping while you place blocks, you can do that. And I do that on that candy cane build with the candy cane that's like 8 high or something, and then the snow on the bottom. So it's also good to remember when you're playing Speed Builders, where your, like, what block you want to start on, where that is in your hotbar. So on most builds, the block that you're going to want to start on is usually, it's often 1. But, every time, if there's ever a mob, the mob is on the last slot in your inventory. So not 9, but like, say there were 4 blocks and there was 1 mob, it would be on slot number 4 every time. And if there are 2 mobs, I don't know how that system works past that. I just know that mobs are always last in your inventory. And so if you're doing Santa's Workshop or something, you can count. Okay, so there's how many different types of blocks are there? Okay, so there's the logs, which go 4 high, the oak planks, which go on top, so that's 2. And then 3 is that pot, the pots, and then 4 is a chest, 5 is a crafting table, and 6 is the slabs. So the villagers will be on number 7, and you can get to that really easy. Instead of trying to count across your hotbar with your scroller, you can just click the number 7, and look, I'm already there. And then once you're done, you can click back to 1, which I believe that that's the logs, but I could be wrong. 1 could be oak planks. I'm not entirely sure. And the more that you play it, the more you're just going to remember it and know it, and it makes it a lot easier. So I try to kind of take note of that. Or, I mean, if you're in a lobby with good people, you can always ask, like, what is this thing? So I know that the block that I want to start on, I'm going to speed jump this all the way up, is number 3, because that is the logs. Because I believe slabs are often near the beginning. So I'm just going to S jump that up real quick, and then just kind of go kind of speedy. I'm still going slow because I'm still in teaching mode, but it's fine. Wait, what did I do wrong? Oh, I'm not very smart sometimes. It's fine. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I started on the wrong block, y'all. I never do that. I feel like these people, like, if I ever start building fast, will be, like, shocked because I've built slow the whole time. Like, I'm not doing poorly. I'm just not doing, like, as speedy as I normally am. Okay, so I'm going to focus this time, and I'm going to build and probably not talk until I'm done building. So, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so that is kind of some of the beginning kind of techniques to learn how to play speed builders, like, better. Because a lot of people that I've seen, like, they know how to build and they know what the builds are. They just don't know how to put the two together and be able to build quickly and do the build. So now I'm going to be quiet and build this. Oof, that was a bit painful. But, like, see how much faster I did that? So I did that kind of wonkily, but I think maybe the best strategy for that would be to place a block here, place another block down here so that you are 1 block up, then build 3 high, because remember, building 3 high is your best friend, in my opinion. Like, that is your absolute, like, best tool ever. So you do that, and you build 3 high, and then you destroy that block, place the block here, build across, and then double jump up. I think that would be the quickest strategy, and I legit just figured that out, but say that be. So we're gonna try that next time we see Fortress Fun. Also, there's a bunch of slang that people use in speed builders, and it's kind of confusing. So, like, PB, when people type, like, literally PB in the chat, it means, personal best. It means that's the fastest that I've ever done this build. So, I'm gonna stop talking for now and go speedy, so I'm sorry for that. So that wasn't really as fast as I would have liked, but I kept kind of not paying attention in the last bit. But, I mean, overall, that was still pretty good. And did you notice that when I was down here, so I jumped up, and I built this, and I built all of the gray part, and then I jumped up here, and I built 3 high, placed the block under me, and built 4 high, so that I didn't have to double jump there. Because double jumping is helpful when you're going, like, 5 or more. Like, that's how tall it is. But when it's like 4, it is really, really helpful to just place that block under you. Because you can do that probably just as fast as you could, double jump. Probably faster, depending on how fast your CPS is. Now that's another slang term. CPS means clicks per second. And a lot of people who PvP know that, but some people just don't. I can't believe I did that fast. For the longest time since this build came out, I could not get under 14 seconds. So in speed build settings, I couldn't sub 10. So sub 10 is just like, or sub 14 or whatever. It's sub anything. So sub basically means below. So I couldn't get below this number. It's really helpful. Oh, guys, I have a random fact for you. So the word literally, for a really long time, until like 1850 something, was used as a figurative thing. So like a lot of people use like literally figuratively. And so that's kind of confusing, but a lot of you know what I mean whenever that like random one chick, I say chick because it's mostly girls who say it, but like they're like, oh, this literally happens every time, or I literally couldn't do this. Like, that's not really the necessary definition of that word, but we let it slide because like that's how we used it for so long, apparently. That is what I've been told. I have not verified those facts, so don't take that to the bank. But I did think that that was kind of interesting, that the reason why it changed was basically a writer was writing a book on grammatical rules, said literally means literally instead of figuratively. And everybody, like, nobody, very few people say literally and mean literally. They say literally and mean figuratively. I know I'm having a lot of L's at the end of all my words, but it's fine. Y'all still understand me, hopefully. Anyways, but they're just like, yep, this is what it means now. And even though nobody will listen to it, I'll just correct them all the time. So that's what I was told. I'm not entirely sure if that's how that happened, or if it's true, or if literally always meant literally and it kind of went away. I don't know. But that's kind of the random fact that we're going to go with for the day. Oh, why do you do this? Well, I hate when I do dumb stuff. Like, I know not to go in there or I'll get stuck, and yet I still do it. So I don't know what to say about that. So I'm just going to get all this stuff. Oh, so a lot of people don't know that in Speed Builders, if you can't find a block, there are often two things. So one, if you don't know the build, you can check in your inventory, because if there's more than 9 blocks, like they have to put the blocks somewhere, so that you can just, you know, throw in, like, look in your inventory, okay, there's a block there, I can get that out. So like in Train Station, before they changed it, there was a block that was in your inventory, and that was the stairs. So a lot of people had no idea what they were doing wrong. They're like, okay, am I missing a block? What's going on? It's because it's in your inventory. Or if you place a block outside of the bounds, like for instance, I'll show you when I get out here, like click out here instead of clicking inside your little circle, square, then it will make that block invisible. So look, I have 4 and now I have 3. That block is still there. I can still place it. You just can't see it. And if it stresses you out not to see it, you can always destroy a block. So look, okay, placed it, still can't see it, destroy it. Oh, I got 2 back instead of 1. That's interesting. How did that happen? Well, it's because you placed a block out of bounds, and when you destroyed a block, it gave it back to you. So that's how that works. So the block is still in your inventory. You just can't necessarily see it. It's gone invisible. I don't know why. It's just one of those random Speed Builders things. It's just kind of weird, but that's why you can't see it sometimes. And so that's kind of an explanation on that, because that's one of the really frequently asked things. Like, I don't have a block, and I'm like, well, did you place a block out of bounds? And nobody knows what that means. So, but I'm explaining that now. So hopefully some people know what that means in the future. So that's kind of how that works. I try to be helpful. We'll see if this is actually helpful. I feel like I've been talking forever. It's only been like 18.5 minutes. But it's fine because, I don't know, I like talking. And I actually feel like I'm being helpful instead of talking about nothing. And I'm also like talking and not forgetting. But in my defense, whenever I'm not talking, it sounds really quiet because for some reason the recording thing I use won't let me play my music without playing my music really loud in the video. Like, and you can't even hear my voice. And I don't know how to fix that, so I just have to turn off my music, which is kind of sad, but not a big deal. Except for the fact that I never play this game without music, so it's fine. It's not a big deal. It's okay. I'll survive. I promise I'll not die. It's kind of a requirement. But yeah, so that's how it is. Also, if we see this, I will demonstrate this technique because it's one of the most helpful things with Speed Builders. But you know that time when you're trying to place your bookshelves and they're just not working and they're just gone and you're like, okay, what is going on? For some reason, bookshelves are broken, and so I'll get more into that in half a second. But look, okay, really easy strategy for this. 1, 2, 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. Messed up, but it's fine. So look, they all go one down from each other. 1, 2, 3. Make sense? And then, so the 1 has 2 and 2 after it. The 2 has a 3 after it, and the 3 has a 2 after it. So they all have a total of 5 blocks split into 2 or 3 groups. So that's kind of how you do this build. I've heard that it's kind of hard sometimes, and so like how I remember it is 1, 2, 3. They're all 1 block down from each other. So it makes it easy to have just like that point to remember where it is from, where it begins. I don't know. I don't even know. We're going to go with where it begins because that sounds more grammatically correct, but I'm not entirely sure that it is, so don't take it to the bank. But, so anyways, more on the bookshelves. So bookshelves are broken. They don't like you. So if you place a block on them, it will not register. It will act like you're placing it out of bounds. So what you got to do is you have to place carpets under it. So most of the builds that you have bookshelves in, you also have carpets, like bedroom or academics layer or something. It's like that one with the 3x5 bookshelves and the rug in the middle. So like you need 10 carpets for each side. So you place 1 layer of carpets like you would just normally to place carpets, and then you place a layer of carpets on top of that because carpets act like blocks. They take up an entire block of space even if you can walk on it. So it will place the carpet one above that, and then you place the 5 bookshelves on top of that, eliminate the middle row of carpets, place the bookshelves on top of the first row of carpets, eliminate the first row of carpets, and then place the bookshelves on the ground. And then you have your 3x5 bookshelf tower. Really helpful tool when you have no idea why your bookshelves won't work. So it doesn't work in the Knowledge is Power or Enchanting Room or whatever it is that has the pyramids of bookshelves surrounding the one enchanting table. So because there's not enough blocks to make that work. So also the Knowledge is Power one, the one that has the spruce blocks and is a bookshelf that has 5 across, and then out of the 4th block there's like a little shootout that's like 3 blocks out, and so that one is hard, but you can do it. And if I see it, I'll show you the strat because it's kind of hard to explain. I can explain it, but it might not make a lot of sense, so I'm just going to go ahead and explain it. Basically, before you do anything else, you take your spruce blocks and build 5 high. Then you build your ladders down off of that. Then you destroy the 3 spruce blocks in the middle, because basically how it goes is there's the spruce blocks on the bottom facing upwards, 3 rows of bookshelves, and then spruce blocks on the top facing upwards again. So you take that ladder and you can build the bookshelves off the ladder, so then you have the spruce block, 3 bookshelves, and then another spruce block. Awesome. Then you take, it's actually probably not smart to do it off the ladders, but either way. Then you take spruce blocks and you go one under where the spruce blocks need to be facing upwards, because as most people who play Minecraft know, you cannot get spruce blocks to face upwards without something under them or above them to make them go upwards. So you take those blocks and you place them one under. Then you build all of your bookshelves on top of that. So you just do that for the whole kind of outline of it. Then you build all your bookshelves on top of that. So basically at this point you have one pillar that is done, and it has 1 block of spruce, 3 blocks of bookshelves, then another block of spruce, and then ladders on the front of it. And then you have like 2 blocks of spruce, one that's facing upwards and one that's facing mostly sideways. Makes sense? Okay. From the spruce blocks that are facing sideways, which are one down from the top, and don't really look like they're supposed to be there. Pro tip, it's because it's not, but we need it for now. You place the bookshelves on there so that they're the middle block of bookshelves for the entire build. Very helpful. Once you get done making those, you kill all of the spruce blocks that are sideways that don't look like they're supposed to be there. Build the bookshelves on top of the top layer. Place the spruce blocks on the bottom, from the floor up, and then place bookshelves on top of that layer of spruce blocks. Blocks, whatever. I'm saying blocks because it's easier. And then, ta-da, you have your whole build. I know that sounds daunting, so if it comes up, I'll try to show you the strat and kind of make sense of what I'm saying, because it does not make a ton of sense right now, I'm sure. But that is kind of the basic strat. So if you want to kind of envision that, you're building 5 high, and then yeah, all of that good stuff. It actually does make sense when you're doing it, because you're like, oh yeah, because I have to have a block every row on which to base my bookshelves. Makes a mild amount of sense. That's not where that goes. Sorry guys, not really paying attention, but it's fine because I still got it. So I hope that makes sense, because I had so much trouble trying to do that build. There's also one of the new builds that says have fun. And it's like, oh, it's just rails that are facing all the same way. They're not actually facing the same way. The build is lying to you. I will show you the build if it comes up, because I don't know how to explain what it does. But yeah, it is not actually sideways. The middle ones are the tricky ones. So I will try to demonstrate that so that y'all can learn how to do it, because one of my friends tried to show me because they got it, but it's really hard to show unless you're like seeing it first person. So that's what I'm hoping to do. And so also with the bookshelf glitch, hoppers are included in that. You need something to base whatever block it blocks off the hoppers from. So like on the gun one, the mini pistol, that's, I think y'all all know what that is, hopefully. You need to place a block on that stone slab, and then place your stair, and then kill the block, and then place your hopper, because you can't base things off of hoppers or bookshelves. Mildly upsetting, but we do try to get over it, because it's not the biggest deal, and most of them we can just go on with. And most people will just build as much as they can on on the enchanting room. They'll build as much as they can, and then you'll all tie. It's very helpful. You only don't tie if one person doesn't build enough, and then they just get killed, and so it's not even a big deal. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting. This game is very fun, especially for people who enjoy memorizing things and kind of putting that knowledge to use, and I am one of those people. So I really enjoy it. Ow, why are you being mean to me? They were hitting me off my corner. I sit in the same corner every time because I have habits, but it's fine. Anyways, so I'm going to try to build slow again. And so this is Sam and Bob. Okay, a lot of people get caught up on this build because it looks like it should be 1 block away every time. It's not. It's 2 blocks away from this one. So if you're new to this build, I would recommend starting on the 2 blocks away and then just build it too high and then come over here to this 1 block away. Build it too high, as you do, until they're both 4x4 squares, and then build the middle. Ta-da! Because your middle should look like that. You should be able to build a pillar too high from each of the corners and then build 2 blocks in between them. And so that's why one of them needs to be over here. Don't ask me why they made this build like this, because I don't understand why they couldn't just make the middle a little bit longer and not have it off. But it's fine, because it does help you learn how to, I don't know, just realize that you have to look at the builds if you don't know them. So I'm trying to look at these builds for you, because a lot of times I don't look at them. I'm either fixing my music or typing or whatever, and then I'm like, oh, the build time is over. It's a good thing I know what this build is, or else I would be dead. Okay, this is Thunda. This is one of the new builds. It's very interesting. So, looks kind of simple. I want you to remember that block right there, because we're going to get to it later. So, it's this 2x2 pattern. I'm going to try and place. Oh, guys, I got it right first try. So, there we go. So, do you see that? So, it's 1, 3 high, and then 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So, it goes off to either side, so it makes that cool kind of Thunda effect or whatever. And so then you build 2 blocks on top of the panes, and then 1 block directly facing every side. And so then you build 2 high, and then 1 over here. Ta-da! Make sense? So it's going to be a shape that looks like this from underneath, with the panes looking like this. And then when you get on top, you make the 2 blocks up here on top of it to make it look like a kind of baby pyramid, really baby pyramid. And then you place this block here to apparently make it look more like a cloud. I don't know why they added that, because it really doesn't add a ton to the build, but that's what they did just to make it annoying for us. So that's what we're going with, and that's what I'm going to try and teach you. So that's how you do this build. It's okay. See, remember I used building 3 high, and then I jumped on top, because that's what's easier. Again, in 1.13, cannot see skeleton heads or any heads, so I have to whack them. Okay, this one is kind of simple premise. 3 sand corners in every side, then you jump up, see, and you use that building 3 high technique. And then you put a head there, and then you put your heads there. So a tip to know where this head goes is see where this should go up here. Just draw a line down, put a space in front of it, and then put the head there. So does that make sense? That way you can kind of know where your head goes. Hopefully on top of your shoulders, but in Minecraft. So this one is a pretty simple premise. So it's 2 on top of 2 on top of 3 to connect it over to 2 on top of 2, whatever. And then you put stairs on the sides. So kind of simple premise. It's harder if you don't know how to do it. Obviously, all the builds are. But if you saw my strat, it's that I build this one, or I guess technically it's over here, but I don't think I'll care. So it's this one, so it's 3 by 2, it's 6 blocks, and then I build 6 blocks on top of it. Then I jump up using my jumping ability, which is kind of your best friend in this game. Then you build 3 to make it look like a nice and even bridge, and then you build 2 under that, 2 under that, 2 under that, or 3 under that, whatever. And so then you have this nice pretty base of a bridge, and then you build the stairs on the corners. It's pretty simple, though it does get a little bit more tricky when you're actually building it, but it's not that hard. It's just kind of knowing what you're doing is the biggest thing in almost any Speed Builders game. Okay, this guy, I do not fart rainbows. Yeah, that's because you don't have a rear end, my friend. So basically, it's pretty simple. We're going to use that nice. So in Speed Builders, you can only build 2 down. So I'm very happy that this is only 2 down, because look at that. I can make his nice little legs that I made his. So it's hoofs, 1, and then 1 block of wool, and then a 3 by 3 square of wool. And then you build this little kind of head shape. You put the eyes on either side, put the horn on top, and then put the nice hair on the back. So that is not really what I would recommend as like the fastest strat or the way that you could do this, but that's a good way that makes it work. And you can just kind of remember that. So you build the head and the eyes and the horn and the hair, or whatever variation of such that you want to do. But that's kind of how that makes sense, is hoofs, legs, body, head, horn, eyes, hair, whatever. I said it a different time the first time. I said hoof, legs, body, head, eyes, horn, hair, whatever. Lots of H's, very confusing. But yeah, okay, this one trips a lot of people up because it's a lot of building, and if you don't know what you're doing, it's kind of hard. So a lot of people think that they need to base it off of those things that they give you. You can if you want to, but that's just a lot of work. So what I do is I place 1, then I place a block under it, then I place 2 blocks, or you can just go 1 over and up, and then I use my little nifty 1 block and jump 3 up, then use my best friend, and then voila, you have your base. Then you build it 4 out to make kind of the outside of the tent. Okay, makes sense so far, right? No one ever has shown you how to do this, so it's confusing. Then you build 2 high on the outside, chests in the middle, and then 1 block each on top, and then there you go. Perfect. And now I got it done. See, it's not as hard as you think it is. It's just daunting and scary because it's a lot of blocks and you don't know what you're doing. But that's how you do it, and that's what makes way more sense to do it than trying to like double jump or whatever, because it's not practical. Okay, this is one of the times where I'm going to count my blocks. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks total, including the mobs. So I'm going to put my mouse on 4 so that I have the mobs, and looky there, they're right where I expected them to be. Then you build this 4, and then gold, and then TNT. There you go. Perfect. And then you got it done, and it's great. And so there you go. Now on to the next ones. Okay, so this one is a nice little circle in the middle, as I like to call it. I call all 3 by 3 squares circles for some reason, because I have played way too much Speed Builders. Then, so you build this nice little outside, and then you build your outer rims of those, and then you place your chests. The way that chests are facing do matter. So for this one, all of the chests face the inside, like when you're opening an ancient chest, as it says in the title that I can't point to because I don't have a pointer. But looky there, ancient chest opening. Pay attention, guys. Names are kind of helpful sometimes. So there you go. All the chests face inward. Keep that in mind when you're building. Very helpful. And the way I like to do it is, see, look, this guy is dead because he placed his chest wrong. So it does matter, actually. A lot of people think it doesn't. Okay, Sir Inks-a-Lot. Okay, you find his eyes because he only has 1 set. You gotta know where they are. And then, so look at this pattern. So you have a diagonal leg, straight leg, diagonal leg, straight leg, diagonal leg, straight leg, diagonal leg, straight leg. And then you build this nice little circle of him, square of him in the middle. So I build it too high, and then I jump up again because he's nice, even thing. And too high again, and then I place his little eyeballs, not up there, but right in the middle. Or, if you eliminate top along the bottom, it's in the middle. But that's what we're going with, because it looks like the middle of his face. And so this would be, actually, if he's a squid, because, yeah, his mouth would be underneath where it is. Oh, nice, they finished. I always like when people finish. It makes it more fun. Okay, Podzol. Like most mushroom builds, the biggest problem is learning where to place the mushrooms. Okay, it makes sense. So look, okay, so this one is like, imagine there's a thumbs up like that. The blocks there, you place one in that thumbs up, and then 2 away on the outer edge, there's one there, and then you build a 3x3 square with one on either end, and you put a mushroom on one of those. This is where you use your speed jump, which I failed, but it's fine. So you go 5 high with your logs, and then one with a leaf on top, and then you build 2 leaves down from the top of the log, not the top of the leaves, the top of the log, down to where your tree looks like this, and look how good that looks. See, they were really close. They just missed 2 blocks. So look, they got their mushroom right, and they got this mushroom right. And then they just missed this block, and then this mushroom that's going to go right here. And so that's the only thing they did wrong. And you can die just as quick as that. You have to pay attention in this game. I mean, pay attention to the level that you need. And then, voila. You can win or lose in a matter of seconds, or I guess everything is technically in a matter of seconds, but nobody tends to point that out, so I'm just gonna do it. Anyways, so this lags out a lot of people's computers, but for some reason it doesn't lag out mine. I mean, maybe minorly, but Arbalest Palace lags out mine way more, and I don't like that build. So, yay, we got Depths of the Colossal Octopus. I really like this build. This map, it's pretty chill. It's not my favorite one. My favorite one is Shroomland Lake, because, I don't know, I just like it. But this time I think I'm going to do a combination of teaching and speeding, depending on what I feel like at the moment. So that's what we're going with. I mean, without my music, I feel kind of not motivated to go fast, so I'd rather just teach because it's more fun. Okay, water bottle. A little bit daunting, but you just got to pay attention to the details. Okay, 3x3 square at the bottom, 2x3 thing in the middle, and then you place glass on either side of it. This is a very common formula for builds. They use it in glass of OJ, glass of milk. I know those aren't the technical names, but like that's what they are. And so then you build that too. You build it over and over, over and over, over and over, over and over a bunch of times, and then you can build your glass on the outside of it. So then you do not build on the outside of this glass anymore. You build an 3x3 ring with an empty spot in the middle. Then you build the middle bit one more high. Then you put a lapis lazuli block in there, and then you put a wood block there and a wood block there. No, I'm not trying to be fancy. This is just, I'm trying to teach you, and I had enough time. So do you see that? So you start at the bottom and you just work your way up, and you don't worry about it because you have plenty of time. It's round 1. Even if it's not, you just don't worry about it because that makes it harder. Hey, we've seen this one again, so I'm probably going to go fast, and I want you to pay attention to the techniques that I used because I think that they could be very helpful. So look, I remembered that these yellow blocks were on number 2. So I was able to immediately start building instead of A, starting to build the wrong block, or B, having to struggle to find the right block. I guess A sometimes happens with B, or B sometimes happens with A is what I mean. But like, struggling to find the right block does hamper your time and does stress you out and is not very helpful. So try to know where you're starting. I kind of leave my hotkeys at 1, so hotkeying. Another term that you might not know. Okay, so you know how you have your keyboard with all the letters, and then above that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. And on top of them, the 1 has an exclamation mark, the 2 has an @ sign, the 3 has a hashtag, so on and so forth. Those are your hotkeys, so you can use those to control your hotbar, which is this bar right here. And that's the bar that pops up when you're looking. So you can use that. If I click 1, it selects 1 on my hotbar. If I click 4, it selects 4 on my hotbar, and so on and so forth. And I can scroll too, and I do scroll sometimes, but I prefer to hotkey as much as I can because well, there's some debated opinions about hockey, but I think that it helps you go faster. Some people are like, oh, I think that it interrupts the flow of your game, and I understand that. It's really however you want to play, but I like the way that it plays more. See, I kind of failed, so I had to double jump back up there. So I don't know if anyone else played it this time, but I remember playing this game before there was any speed, before there was any double jumping. So before there was any doing this or this. So on builds like this, if we fell off, we would have to destroy blocks and get back on and build it and then replace them, which was kind of a pain, but I mean, say that me. So that's kind of the basis. I kind of forgot to teach, but so on this one, it is two. So this is this brick fireplace. Okay, a lot of these are meant to be visually appealing. This one actually is. This is a 2x3 base, and then you put a little triangle there, and then the metal was in the middle, and I have to go after this game, so sorry, y'all. But that's kind of how this works. Okay, I tried to make use of my double jump there, which it actually was very helpful. I just, I didn't click quite fast enough to get all of it, and so look at the strategy that I'm doing here. Some people, a lot of people will build this from the base up. A lot of people who don't necessarily, I forgot one, know what they're doing, and that's okay. It's not a terrible idea for some of your first times, but it is much faster and it helps you build much better. So look at what they're doing. See, that's just hard. That's hard to maintain. But yeah, so just kind of look at this. Sorry about that. I have family and I love them and they like talking to me. So, yep. So right now, so I know that my light green is going to be on 5. And so then I build this. Okay, all of these are made out of lighter and then darker colors. So I know that this dark blue always goes towards where this yellow will be. And so then I know that it's an alternating pattern. So that it's not blue on blue, dark blue and dark blue, and so on and so forth. So then I know that I can build this 5, build all of these, build all of these, all of these. I sound real southern, but it's fine. And then you can just look at that and ta-da, done. So it's alternating pattern, kind of important, very helpful to memorize. This is not hollow. None of these are hollow. You can often tell if they are or not. So that's very helpful. So a way to tell if they are or not, if you just don't know. So if you're in game and you don't know, so I know that this is going to be 27 blocks, right? No, 3, 9, 12. It's gonna be 12 blocks. Sorry, my bad. Adding way too many numbers there. But I know that that needs 12 blocks of the yellow and orange ones, so I can add those together and be like, okay, does this make 12 blocks? Is there 6 blocks of each? If not, oh, there's only there's 6 blocks of one and 5 blocks of another. Okay, well then that means that it's not filled. It's hollow. Or if you're looking at it, you can always just destroy a block. So like this one, it's literally kind of impossible for it to be hollow. Unless there's like this block, not this block, but the one behind it that you can't really see is hollow, but that's not really how that works, especially because you can tell from the lighting. It often would be darker. And also, afterwards you can go underneath. So a nice tool that they let you have is after you're done, they let you look at your build and see what you did wrong. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do this one. I'm going to build my outer rim. So you use this outer rim and then the inner technique a lot in a lot of builds. And so then I'm going to build my stairs. So I noticed that there were stairs on everything, and that it was completely ringed by quartz, but not like all by quartz stairs or all by quartz slabs. So I knew where those stairs were. They were in the middle. Often all of these things are in logical places. There are very few builds that don't seem to have a pattern, and even those actually probably do have a pattern, you just don't know it. So look how much faster I was able to build that just by doing it in a kind of a logical way. Okay, you're going to build the outside, then you're going to build it inside, finish the outside, and then go around being able to effectively place this. A lot of people just don't understand how this works, and so that's kind of what I'm trying to explain, is how you can do this effectively and quickly. And enjoyably. It's more fun when you can win, or at least feel like you have a shot. So I enjoy trying to tell people, and it's harder to tell people without talking to them. And so that's part of why I made this. So I hope that y'all enjoyed it, and I will hopefully see you next time. Bye!